Hey y'all, so I got a question that I thought would be better answered through a video. And it's regarding a specific person, SP, whatever you want to call it. But it really goes down to having an expectation of an external event in order to condition something that you want and something that you're focused on. And essentially what the question was, hey, I, want this person and I'm really into them, but only if they apologize for what they've done wrong in the way that I've seen it, in the way that I expect it. And I struggle with these, and I actually think when I write, like in typing, I struggle a bit to kind of answer this and get my point across to people. But in all of my content and what I'm trying to share, I'm trying to let you know you have to start with you. All focus on stuff that happens outside of you that, one, you cannot control, and two, the more you try to control it, the more you're just going to struggle and be frustrated, which means that the more that you struggle and that you're frustrated, the more that's what you're actually going to get into your life. I know that sometimes it sounds super woo-woo and people struggle with kind of hearing it put in this way, but you do become, like, whether you want to call it a vibrational match, you assume something into your world, you kind of bring this stuff to you. And if you are trying to control things, you're focused on the wrong area. And this is news that folks don't want to hear. People don't want to hear this. They don't want to do it because they're like, no, this is what I want and I deserve it and that's what I'm going to get. And I realize that, and you can be absolutely deserving, but the more that you focus on the lack of this exact thing that you want, the less likely it is to come. But the more that you take your focus outside of that, you can still want that. You can still have an expectation that somebody is going to apologize to you. But removing your focus from that, putting your focus on yourself, the things that you enjoy, making sure that you're having a really good life and that you're relaxed and you have faith that everything's going to work out how it's supposed to. You have faith that if you turn it over to God, you're good to go. Don't have to worry about anything. The more stuff will start to fall into place for you. And it feels very counterproductive. And I really struggled with this for a couple years where I really wanted to control everything. I wanted to put so much focus onto these events until this thing happened and I knew that it was like happening in the way that I wanted and I was, so deserving of this and etc. But here's the thing. I have no doubt that when you truly believe, when you truly believe that you're deserving of this, you no longer focus on reminding yourself that you're deserving of it. And I know that that's frustrating. And I know that it can become a cycle that you're just like, oh my gosh, but I don't want to not focus on it because it hasn't happened. And I want this apology and I deserve this person to do this thing, or I deserve them to say this thing to me. You can put that out there. You can put your desire, you can put whatever you want, but the focus has to come back on you. You have to start paying more attention to yourself, the way that you feel, the things that you're doing, and the habits that you are creating every single day. When you wake up every day and you have the same thought, the same emotional reactions, the same even physical behaviors from dawn until dusk, you're just creating the same cycle that you had. So you have to start making choices of what you're going to do within your day, the thoughts that you are going to entertain or dwell in, the behaviors that you're going to continue based on the person that you want to become or that you want to be versus the person that you are yesterday or at this moment that you don't want to be anymore. So if you're frustrated that somebody hasn't apologized to you and they haven't given you this thing that you feel or you keep telling yourself that you're so deserving of, take a step back and really consider, okay, if that was truly how I felt, would this be my actions? Would this be the thing that I am truly feeling on the inside? And I do think a lot of times, words are powerful. I get that. And you should be telling yourself a good story. But if you're telling it to yourself, but you truly don't feel that, and your habits and your ways of behaving are not reflective of that, you're just continuing the same cycle over and over and over. And it does get to a point where it's like, if you've been doing this for like years or months or, weeks at a time, you need to be honest with yourself and you need to say, okay, Clearly, whatever I'm in a habit loop of is not working for me. So let's be honest with myself about the stuff that I can take a look at, the stuff that I can change, and what I can control. And the things that you have control over is your reactions, where you dwell, the stories that you tell yourself, and how you behave throughout the day. Your habits are going to be reflected in your thoughts and your behaviors and your beliefs. That in turn will then start to mirror to you from the external world. But you got to start with you, and it can be difficult to do that. It can be difficult to let that go, but that's what faith is. And it's not a struggle. That's the other thing. This is not difficult. It's not difficult to let that go. The more that you start to focus on doing things that you enjoy, being kind to yourself, feeling really good and enjoying life, the more it just really starts to all play out very peacefully, very calmly. It's not difficult. And you'll start to notice a subtle shift, and you'll start to feel it in yourself. You'll just feel better. You'll have a little bit more pep in your step. Your thoughts for yourself automatically go to something better. And you may catch yourself, here and there, like, oh gosh, I'm kind of panicked in this or whatever. That's fine. But the more that you continue to go back to these feelings, the easier it becomes. So the first step is to be honest with yourself. What is it that I'm really creating here? What is the habit that I keep going back to? Not only with my physical actions, but also with my emotional reactions and my thought processes that I'm dwelling in. Be super honest with yourself, because if you can't do that, you're not going to really get anywhere. And I'm sorry, but you're just not. You're going to continue in whatever cycle you had yesterday and the day before and the day before that. And if you really want to look at what's going on in your mind, take a look at how your last few days have been. Is it really playing out the way that you want it to? If not, let's start becoming a bit more honest with ourselves in this. From there, identify some habits that you can change. The biggest one for me is to write out a list of things that you enjoy. Start adding that to your day. So, okay, here's a whole thing of things that I enjoy. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to do something different than what I did yesterday. And I'm going to add some of those joys to my list, whatever it is. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to be super involved in it. I'm going to really feel the emotions that I have at that point. I'm going to be physically involved in what's happening there and really immerse yourself in feeling so happy to be doing this thing that you enjoy. And it doesn't matter what it is, just really be there, be present for it. And then the third thing is to sit back and enjoy and keep doing this like all throughout the day. So, you can say, this is a habit that I'm changing in the morning. So instead of, getting up and automatically getting on my phone, I'm going to get up and drink a big glass of water. I'm going to get up and go for an outdoor walk. I'm going to get up and get some morning light directly into my eyes so that I can wake up and be in a better mental state for the day. Then do it. Okay, what's my usual go to work routine? I'm going to take a different drive into work. And while I'm there, I'm going to pay attention to the trees, and I'm going to look at the grass that's around me, and I'm going to enjoy the people watching, because it's all a little new to me as I'm going through, this new route to work. When you're at work, what are the things that you're usually doing? If it's complaining with a coworker, find somewhere else to eat lunch. Don't complain with that person. Go do something else. Read a book, do a crossword puzzle, whatever it is. Even watch like a few TikToks that you enjoy and laugh and whatever you want, but enjoy yourself. Do it all throughout your day. And then when you go to bed at night, re-go over the things that you really enjoyed. I'll kind of go into more detail in a few different buckets of this, and especially like the morning and the evening and kind of ways to change some of this stuff up. But I think this is a good starting point.